Hey guys, my name is Erin. Welcome back to my channel where you will find everything homeschool and mom life. Today I have a brand new video for you all about reading. And I'm going to be talking about all about reading. So stay tuned if you're interested in finding out more about all about reading and how I have come to love it in our homeschool for my youngest son. Today I wanted to share with you an inside look at reading in our homeschool. So I have taught 5 kids to read now. Well, 4 kids to read. I have one that's a struggling reader. He's my youngest, and I actually have a brand new curriculum that it's new to me that we are using for the first time this year, and I've had my eye on this curriculum for a long time, but I haven't been able to purchase it, and I was able to get my hands on it just recently. So the main thing I really wanted to share with you guys today is the program All About Reading Level 1, because I am doing Level 1 with my 6-year-old right now. We just started it about a week and a half ago, and I'm really impressed with it so far, and I wanted to share it with you guys and share just kind of an inside look, how I set it up, how it's going with my boy at this point, and then I will come back and do another review towards the end of the year, and I'll let you guys know how it's been going over the long haul. What I've learned right away with All About Reading is that going slower at first is okay. The first 2 lessons that we did took us 6 days total. So 3 days for each of those lessons. But by the time we got to the 3rd lesson, my son knew those phonogram cards and those word cards, and he was confident in it. He was proud of it, and he just flew through the 3rd lesson like it was nothing, and it was exciting to him, and I just saw so much improvement in him in just that little bit of time. And then we went on to the lesson number 4, and that's where he is now. We got about halfway through it, and before I could even start the lesson for the day, he actually came down and he grabbed this book. This is the first book in the series that they actually get to sit and read, and he had this book out and he was reading the next story even though we weren't on it yet. But he was that excited. He was happy to open up his little book and start reading. So that made my mama heart happy. So this so far has been an answer to prayer for us. It's been a good thing for him. Now I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you my setup that I have for All About Reading Level 1. Here it is, All About Reading Level 1. This one here is the teacher's manual. Try not to get a glare on it. And then I have the 3 readers. They've got Run Bug Run, Runt the Pig, this is Cobweb the Cat. So there are the 3 readers that come with this level. And then you have the student book. And the student book comes just like this one, bound like this. But what I did is I actually started taking it apart. So I have it in this binder, this nice, I think this is a 2-inch binder. So I've got this 2-inch binder here, and I just, I photocopied the cover of the book. This is the actual cover, but I photocopied this and I cut some pieces off of it to put in a spine so I could see what this is when I grab it. And my kids like it. They think it's cute to have a spine like that. So what I did with this is I started pulling pages out. I'm not done. I still have some pages left, but I started pulling pages out just over the weekend and putting them in page protectors inside this binder. So that way I can take out whatever we need for the day right out of the page protector here. And when we're done with it, I can put it right back in. And we can use this again if need be. I like that this is nice and organized. It's already set up for me. I cut out several things already, but some of these I just pulled the pages out and stuck them in here. And then the week beforehand, I plan on taking these out and just preparing them so that I already have them ready to go when we're ready to do our lesson. And I actually took this progress chart and I photocopied this as well, and I stuck it right here in the front of the binder. So my son can just take this out and put his stickers on this. And I actually just bought this student book by itself, brand new by itself. It didn't come in the package with all the extras with it, so I don't have the actual stickers that come with it. But I just picked up these simple kind of shiny star stickers from Walmart, and they work just fine. So that is my setup for the student book. Let me just show you inside this teacher manual. I thought this was going to be complicated. I've seen people do reviews on All About Reading, and it just seemed like it was going to be a lot. And it was always a little bit daunting for me to even think about doing it because I felt like I had so many moving pieces. But now that I have it and I've started doing it, it's really not that bad at all. So I'll show you the lesson that we're on right now. We're on lesson 4. So we start out by reading this. I will read this beforehand, or I might even just skim it because I'm a skimmer sometimes. But I get the basic gist of it, and if there's something that seems like it really needs my attention, I'll read through the whole thing. I don't suggest doing that. I suggest you read through this yourself before sitting down to do it with your child. And we have phonogram cards and word cards that we will practice at the beginning of the lesson. So since we were taking more than a day to do these lessons so far, I'll actually just pull out these phonogram and word cards every time we start working on reading together. And I think that has really helped my son to just go through those one time before we start working on wherever we left off. And then for this lesson, we have some new cards that we add in, and I'll introduce those, and we'll make the sounds together, and we'll follow the directions here. It's all laid out really nicely. And it looks like there's a lot here, but it really isn't that bad. It runs pretty smoothly. I just make sure that I read this beforehand, or I understand what we're doing beforehand. That way, when I get my son in front of me, we can go through this and make it kind of a quick lesson. It's not going to take forever because I'm not going to sit here and try to read all of this while I'm making him sit next to me. I think that's pretty important, is to go ahead and make sure you know what you're doing by reading all of this before you start your lesson with your child. And these letter tiles, this is what was really kind of a snag for me before I got this book. I thought these were going to be kind of a pain. I really don't enjoy a lot of small things floating around my house, but I found these tiles and I didn't have a board for them, and I want to show you what I'm doing with those tiles instead of using a board. So this is my kind of library cart. I call this our library cart because we keep a bunch of our readers on here. And this is just one of those rolling carts, but this is the extra long version. It's kind of like the same length as 2 of the normal size carts. But I really love this cart. This is a great cart. And this is where I keep our tiles. So these are the tiles that level 1 tells you to have out to begin with. And then I have all of our extras on this side. And they're different categories. And I also have level 2 magnets, which is why it seems like maybe I have more magnets than just level 1, if you're familiar with the magnets. And this has worked really well for us. So when it's time to do our tile work, we'll just get down here on the floor, and I'm gonna use this second shelf to put our tiles out that we're working on. And then the rest of them just stay up here until we're ready to pull them out. And then afterwards, my kids like these magnets, so I'll have my second grader, he'll come over here and he'll put all these back in alphabetical order for us if I ask him to, and he thinks it's kind of fun. That's been working for us really well, to just use our little library cart for those magnets instead of having a whole board. So after the tile work in this lesson, we go on to working with this little monster page. That is found in our student notebook here, and I actually keep this sticky tab right on the side of the sheet protector that we're on. That way, when we're done with this one, I can just peel it off and stick it on the next page that we're working on. I don't put it on the top because it's more difficult to get it off because that's where it opens up. So on the side, it works perfectly. I have the same sticky tab on this book, so those tabs keep our place, no problem. And then after that, we have another little word mat, and then some more practice reading words and a practice fluency. So that's why we have split this lesson into more than one day, because my son, after we did this little monster, he was done. He was tired, he was ready to move on. So we did that and we stopped there, and then tomorrow we'll pick up with the next things and we'll see how far we get. These fluency sheets take a little while, so that might take us more than one day to do that. And then we'll get to move on. We'll place our star and we'll move on. I'm not trying to make breakneck speed on this. We don't try to do a lesson a day. We just do as much as my son is happy to do. And so far, it's been going really well. Things are sticking and he's reading words and I can just see his little face lights up when he gets it. And it's been really good. So this was a win starting this program for him. I'm really happy that we got it. I wanted to show you a sneak peek inside these books. I do have the color version and they're so cute. The stories are fun and the colored pictures are engaging. My kids are loving it. My second grader is actually just reading through this book with me just for fun right now. And this is his bookmark. So he does like 3 of these stories a day and he's loving it. And then even then sometimes he doesn't want to stop because they're just fun. I noticed he was actually having trouble with some of these words with short vowels because he's been doing a lot of work with the silent E on the end of words. And this has been a good review for him, and I think he might actually end up doing some work in level 1 before I have him start level 2. Because of course, now that we've seen how awesome this program is, my son, my second grader, so that's my second youngest, also I think would very much benefit from jumping into this program as well. We're gonna probably pick up with him either towards the end of this level 1, wherever he gets kind of stuck when we're reading these, or we're gonna jump into level 2. So I also just wanted to show you guys where I keep this. So I keep his level 1 stuff right down here. It's kind of like his little school cubby where we keep his books we use every day. And now I realize I forgot to show you guys where I keep his cards. So let me show you this real quick. I picked this up at Hobby Lobby. It was like a recipe holder, but I thought it was really cute. I just put all about reading level 1 in a little name placard area here. It is now on the inside. You can see that's where I keep our little stickers, and there's this. We haven't used this yet, but I guess this helps them viewfinder bookmark. So this maybe helps them kind of isolate a word that they're trying to read. And then the cards are in here. So the yellows are the phonogram cards, and these ones that are sticking up are the ones that we're working on right now. I have the dividers, but it's just easy for me to just grab both of them like this when we go to do our lesson. So the yellow ones are the phonogram cards, and they say the lesson and the phonogram card 8, they're all labeled really well, so you know what lesson they go with and what day to use them on. And it also tells you on the back the sound J, keyword jam. And I think that's really helpful. I've also used the Good and the Beautiful cards like this, and I like All About Readings cards better. I do like kind of the feel, the material that the Good and the Beautiful uses, I think better than this, but I like the setup of these cards better. And then the word cards here are the same. There's the same kind of setup. It's, lesson 2, word card 13. So in the teacher's manual, it'll actually tell you which cards to pull out. And if you have them in order already, it's really simple. So there's these little dividers. There's the word cards review. That's where I keep the ones that were standing up a minute ago. And then word cards mastered. We don't have any in there yet, so I could probably move some in, but we haven't yet. And then we have the word cards future lesson. So when you get into these future lesson cards, it says lesson 4, 14, lesson 4, 15, lesson 4, 16, lesson, and so on and so on. So let's see if I can get to the end of lesson 4. So I would grab out all the lesson 4 cards when we were ready to do the lesson 4 cards, which we will tomorrow actually. These will be the new cards that I add to our pile that we already have here. So there we go. Now I'm ready to go for tomorrow. Look at that. So now all I have to do is take these cards, and some of these cards he's mastered by now, so I'll probably pay attention to that tomorrow and pull out those cards that he knows really easily.
and we'll put them under the tab that says mastered so we don't have quite as big of a stack to go through. So that's how I keep this little card box. It's been really convenient. It's easy to get in and out of. I can just grab these cards easily and take them over to the table or couch wherever we're working on them. And then I've got the student book right here and the teacher's manual and then the 3 readers there. There is his All About Reading stuff and the magnets stay over there. It's really a nice little setup and it works well for us.
We are really liking All About Reading, and my little 6-year-old now is doing really well in level 1. Even though we've just started it, I can already see some improvement in him and he's enjoying it. So happy that I was able to get All About Reading, and that is an amazing God story, and I'm going to tell you about that. To a curriculum sale. I have had my eye on All About Reading for a while, but it is outside of my budget. I really wasn't thinking I was going to buy anything. I even went there that day and I remember thinking, I'm not going to buy anything, but it's still fun to go. We're going to go and we're going to check it out. And then I just had this thought cross my mind for just a moment that, oh, what if there's All About Reading there? That would be amazing. And then as soon as that thought came to mind, I just as quickly dismissed it because All About Reading is expensive. If someone's selling it, they're probably going to want more money for it than I have. And what's the likelihood that someone's going to actually have All About Reading at this little curriculum sale? So I didn't even think about it again. We got out of the car, we got to where the books were set up, and this sweet lady, and she had her book set up, but she didn't want any money for any of her stuff. She just wanted to see it off to a new home. And she had All About Reading level 1, and it was the color version, and she took good care of it. It was in good shape. She didn't have the student book because that's a consumable thing anyway, but she had all of the readers and she had the teacher guide, and I was blown away that she gave it to me. She actually just gave it to me. It makes me think of this verse from the Bible, Matthew 6:8. It said, "For your Father knows what you need before you ask Him." So that was totally what I feel like happened. God knew my heart. He knew that I wanted this program and that it would benefit my son, and God is good. I hope that you guys don't forget to pray. If you're struggling in an area, don't forget to pray, because God knows. Even if you do forget to pray, God knows your heart and He knows what you need, and He knows your kids and what they need. He knows you, He knows what you need, and He'll be there for you. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.